Good morning. Well, I always say good morning, Panther fans, but it's not morning. Good afternoon, Dolphin fans. So I'm just gonna get
fans either.
I'm just gonna get the bad news out of the way, right out of the box. It's a high ankle sprain for Waddle.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought you were going to talk about the bad news being the Niners getting their ass kicked last night.
Jeez, I mean, yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. The good news is though is the Chiefs lost, so that helps us have a much better chance of just getting that 2 seed as opposed to the 3 seed, which could play into whether or not we get the Bills or not in week 1 of the playoffs. So, but it's Christmas and we're in the playoffs.
So we are.
We're in the
The December Dolphins are what, 2-1, 3-1 in December?
I think it's 3. Is it 3? We won the first game. We lost. Yeah, it's 3-1.
3-1 in December.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's it's good stuff, man. Yeah. So first off, the game. They got to make it interesting, you know. I mean, it's the all those drives that kept stalling into field goals, and you know, as soon as it happened, I get the text from my dad. It's like, I hope those 3 points don't come back to haunt us. And it almost did.
It should have. And I say should have because Sanders should have missed one of those 50-yard field goals. Looking at the back of his football card, he probably should have missed 2 of those field goals. Like I'm saying after each one, and I was serious after the first couple, and it became a running joke towards the end. I'm like, I still want a new kicker. I'm glad you made this one, but I still want a new kicker. And then it gets all the way to the 5th kick, last kick of the game, like, still want a new kicker. Kyle's like, shut up, Trey.
Dude, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, I guess we're going to go for it. I'm like, I guess we're going to punt. Wait, what? What did it? And then it's like, it's 57 yards. I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we just giving them the ball back? And then he makes it.
And that's how we feel. Is like, you're just giving the ball back. It's like, whatever, punt it out of the back of the end zone, give it on the 20, because if you miss the field goal, you're going back 7 yards. You're worried about those 7 yards. And you know what? You see it all the time with kickers when they have a really bad game and all of a sudden it's the yips and they turn into a bad kicker for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Why can't that happen the other way?
Well,
why can't a guy have a 5 field goal game, 3 50-yarders, a game winner as time expires against a good team on Christmas Eve?
I know.
Why can't he get the, I don't know if you call them good yips, but the good mojo, like, why can't he have it?
Right. Well, I'm sure we all were nervous as we were lining up for that 29-yarder to win the game, because that would be the most perfectly Dolphins thing ever, you know.
Make all of those and then miss a little one at the end.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I didn't want to say it in the chat. I was like, what if we go all the way down here and Sanders misses a 32-yarder after making 350s?
We were all worried.
Not to put that in the chat because that happens, because I did put in the chat on that 3rd and 3. I said, bubble screen to Tyreek incoming. And sure as shit. Bubble screen to Tyreek. He made it.
But it worked.
But that means the Cowboys coaching staff does not watch film, because we all knew what the play was. I said that in the chat too. I would have blown that the up if I was the team coordinator.
Yeah. They had to know that was coming, man. That's just what McDaniel's he's gonna, you know, it's like hockey players. It's like anything. They're gonna be what they're gonna be. You know what I mean? And you know that not going for the field goal. I mean, you know, he listened, right? First down, second down, run, nothing doing. And then, you know, 3rd down, we don't get it. And you're thinking, all right, you take the 3. That sucks, but you know, close game, going to take the 3. And it's one thing you're going for it on 4th down, you don't agree with the call, whatever. But they keep throwing the same play to fade, where it's just like nobody else on the field, nothing else matters. Tua's going to take a step back and throw it to a spot, regardless of who's open, who's not open. If the receiver falls down, he's still just chucking it up in the air. I mean, it's just just all the other options, you take everything away and you boil it down to this one minuscule, I don't know what the percentage of completions on that, but it can't be very high. It's a very, very difficult throw and catch.
Isn't it funny that we get this win over the Cowboys? We not only have this win over a big team, we're still in control of the number 1 seed. There is so much to still complain about after that game, and it's not being a nitpicker. It's like, what is with these outside pitches? What is with these bubble screens? Thank God this one worked, but what's with all these bubble screens? What's with not taking the points?
Yeah. And,
this was one missed kick away from being a tear a new hole in podcast, but we did win.
No, we did win. But yeah, the pitches, the thing with those pitches is I'm not like a analyst of quarterbacks, handoffs, and pitches, but maybe it's my imagination, maybe it's not. I'm sure somewhere there's a stat. It sure as hell seems like Tua gets those off really slow. Like it almost feels like, it's just like it's all a half step too, like in slow motion.
I hadn't really paid attention, thus I haven't really noticed, but I am going to keep an eye out for that in future games now, because seen some goofy stuff with snaps around the league. Dak had that snap in the game against the Dolphins. The Chiefs had that weird thing where Pacheco was handing it off to Mahomes.
Yeah.
But I hadn't noticed it with us, but definitely going to take a look at it now, because something weird's going on everywhere.
Now, what they need to do is, if they want to run that pitch, run it to Cedric Wilson, because I think he was a quarterback in high school, and they won't see that coming.
Throwing it if he has nothing going, or at least throw it away.
Yeah, at least throw it away, something to that effect. But look, you got to give defense credit. I know that they got the touchdown there at the end, but damn, we made them work for it.
Yeah, you gave up 20 points to one of the top offenses in the league. You can talk about situational football, and that last drive they gave up a touchdown, but it's like they held Cowboys to 20 points. The Dolphins better win that game, and they did.
Yeah. You got to give Dak credit. That throw at the end, the throw and the catch. Again, it's like the low percentage, it's like the same thing with that 4th down throw. You get those fades, and it's just like you watch it on TV, and you're just like, how can the cornerback let that happen? How can the defensive back not just, because he's right. It's like the ball has to like practically skim the DB's helmet and get dropped into this bucket, and when you complete that pass, it's just kind of like, what are you going to do? It's just a great play all the way around.
That's how other teams feel when they're covering Tyreek. They're watching those slow motion replay. They're like, how the hell did he get? Wow.
Yeah. Right.
So both our receivers are hurt now, huh?
Well, Tyreek is probably 90%. The thing with Waddle is they're hoping. It's likely the rest of the regular season. So that's
see, if the Niners had won last night, Waddle resting at least during the Buffalo game, not too big of a deal, because I think if the Niners had won last night and we beat Baltimore, we could have sat people for that Buffalo game, right?
There are some scenarios where that could have happened, yes.
Yeah,
but
that's
now
all out the window now. But we had a few guys who, I wouldn't want to rest everybody, because you get that bye week. You don't want people having 2 weeks off. But a couple people on both sides of the ball really could have used that.
So with Waddle being out, I'm going to throw a name at you. Chase Claypool.
I knew that was coming.
We got him for a reason.
Yeah, little big man to move the chains in the middle of the field, and you could throw that fade to him in the red zone. But
he's got to be chomping at the bit. You know what I mean?
Why do I feel like it's going to be Braxton Berrios on the other side?
Well, I don't think McDaniel's going to start Claypool, but
probably start Chosen.
What's that?
Probably start Robbie Chosen.
Well, chosen concussion. He's out with a concussion.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Now you're down 2. Claypool's going to have to play, and I mean, the knock on Claypool is not that he sucks. You know what I mean? It's effort and attitude. And if you give the game, you put the guy out to be like, look, bro, you got a chance here to shine. You could really help us out. I don't think you're going to get lackadaisical attitude out of that. You know what I mean? And when he wants to give effort and play, he's a damn good top wide receiver. So, I mean, he's got to know enough of the offense by now, in my opinion, that there should be a half dozen plays where he feels relatively comfortable with.
Well, if circumstance makes it to where he has to play, maybe that's what we need. That kind of reminds me of in the movie Moneyball. Well, I guess it happened in real life too, but in the movie Moneyball, Brad Pitt wants Chris Pratt's character to be playing first base, and the coach has Carlos Pena playing first base.
Yeah.
So Brad Pitt just up and trades Carlos Pena. He's like, oh, guess Scott Hatteberg starting at first base now, isn't he?
Yep. Yep.
He kept starting Pena. He's like, Hatteberg needs to start at first. He keeps starting Pena. And one day, dude's traded. He's like, guess Hatteberg's starting at first base, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen with Chase Claypool. Waddle's hurt. Chosen's hurt. Well, guess you're going to have to throw in Chase Claypool.
Right. And I'll give McDaniel credit also. He found out that we have a tight end.
Yeah. Right? Was that McDaniel or Tua finding it out? Or is it both of them?
I based on what I believe that's going to be McDaniel, because how often does Tua get to the second read?
Nah.
I
was just thinking like years past, and I know Gesicki had issues route running or whatever, but like one game Gesicki would have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and in the next 4 games he would have that total, and then he'd have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns again. Like it would be like that. And you see his season stats, you're like, oh wow, that guy's actually solid. And then you actually pick him up for a season in fantasy, you're like, this guy stinks.
This guy sucks. Yeah.
But Smythe, like, I was thinking like, maybe like we can get a tight end or something in the offseason, like think about pieces, and then like he has games like this, and it's like, oh, did we have that already?
Well, look, all he does is get open and catch the ball. He's just not flashy. We don't use him a lot. But, knock on wood, when was the last time you heard somebody say Smythe with a drop?
True. You just need a big lumbering guy over the middle. All the attention's on Tyreek and Waddle and Achane.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to be open by proxy.
He's going to be open, right? So, I mean, he hit him a bunch, and that was good to see. And what I really liked was seeing, Jeff Wilson Jr. be able to come out and close the game out like that. And I know it was kind of not on purpose the way it happened, but in reality, it's actually a pretty good strategy. If you beat the crap out of the other team with Mostert and Achane for the first 3 quarters, and you send out a fresh Jeff Wilson for the 4th quarter, I mean, he's good.
Or Chris Brooks.
Or Brooks, that too, right. We got a stable of running backs if McDaniel's willing to use them. And it hasn't mattered. Offensive line. I got a stink bug flying around.
Eichenberg did give up a sack 2 days ago. He did.
Yeah, but what I was saying about the not mattering is the running game. It really. No, I mean,
for sure, the running game tears up. It doesn't seem to matter who it is.
Yeah.
In fact, we have enough guys at running back. If you really wanted to get creative, which of course Mike McDaniel does, you might be able to have some packages with Achane playing receiver, and that can make up for Waddle not being there.
That's actually what he did.
Oh, did he do that?
Yeah. Achane was out there a few times, split out all the way wide.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. He's already doing that. And when you have that many running backs, you can do that. Because let's say he's out there the whole game. They're not going to do that. Let's just say for conversation.
Yeah.
You still have Mostert, Wilson, and Brooks.
Right.
You're good.
Right. And Achane is so fast, you have to account for him. I mean, I know he's just a running back. I mean, yeah, you can single cover him, but if he gets separation and Tua finds him, he gone.
Oh, yeah. Or if it's just a go route and he breaks that jam and he's you're not catching it.
You're not catching them, right? Right. So no, we've got, and I mean, look, even the slow guys are fast. I mean, Berrios is a fast dude, you know.
Yeah, I just hadn't noticed that we were already using Achane out wide in that game. But for the record, I was driving down to Florida during that game. Right. I was still on the stream though.
yeah. But yeah, no, look, we've got depth just like a defensive end everywhere. I mean, everybody that has stepped in has stepped up and really played well.
Oh yeah, everybody. Van Ginkel,
Elliott at safety. I mean, he makes the tackle that it literally saves 7 points.
Yeah.
You know? And it's funny, I meant to put out a clip of it because what I said when he made that tackle was, well, that's a big tackle if we somehow get the ball back. 2 seconds later, the ball was on the ground and we had it back. So,
but that's why I'm also open with Claypool. Like, you know, so many other guys have stepped in because they had to and flourished. And this is his turn. This is his time.
It's got to be now. I mean, because, you know, if you're down Waddle and you're down Chosen, you got Tyreek, Wilson, Berrios, Craycraft, and Claypool. That's got to be your 5 going into the game. You've got to find a way to get Claypool active, because if you can get the other team thinking we have to cover Claypool, okay, now it's like Claypool, Tyreek, and Achane. It's like who you covering? You only got 2 safeties.
Especially in the red zone, dude. Like,
you're gonna put a linebacker on Claypool. It's just all day long. Catch the ball. Right.
Or that extra guy that you were putting on Tyreek, you can't anymore. Like, he needs to be. And you know what? If it's not going to work for him here in this situation, this offense with these players, it's not going to work anywhere.
Well,
so it's time to do it.
I feel, this is just me guessing, because McDaniel's never really talked about it before, but he kind of strikes me as a guy of like, everybody's been here for training camp and all of that, and he feels like those are the guys that have earned their spot. And he doesn't feel like he's a guy, to me, that, okay, Claypool came in and now we're going to leapfrog you and make you the 3rd wide receiver and put the guys that have already been here back at 4 or 5. You know what I mean? He kind of feels to me like somebody is going to make him earn his spot. And that's okay, but now he's got an opportunity, because you got to figure Chosen's going to be out of game, because he was out. He did not clear concussion protocol, so he has a concussion.
He's going to be out. Waddle's going to be out.
Right.
You're not really wanting to put Berrios out wide. Even if you're starting him, you want him in a slot.
In the slot, yeah. And Craycraft really is a slot guy too, you know.
Yeah, really a depth guy. Like, yeah, you got to start Claypool on the other side.
He'll probably start Cedric Wilson though, because Wilson's been playing well.
You have Cedric Wilson too.
Yeah. But you can create some mismatches if you get Berrios and Claypool as your slot guys. Because if you've got Wilson's no slouch either speed wise. I mean, these guys are all fast.
You might even be able to run like a twin tight end package, and that second tight end from Smythe is Claypool.
Like, right?
Do some stuff like that too.
Yeah, no, you could get creative, and I hate that it's happened with Waddle being out. But if Mike was ever going to do it, because that's now we can switch a little bit to the next game, in the Ravens. So they look good.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all doing all of this talking and everything, and the Raven fans are at home and they're like, that's so cute, man. Look at this.
I mean, just think about the game last night, right? Like, obviously we want the Niners to win, and obviously we're not thrilled that they didn't win, but you weren't expecting, like, not only are they not going to win, they're going to get that ass kicked. Brock Purdy's going to throw 5.
Well, he threw 4.
One got taken away.
Well, no, they added another one. I guess somebody came in and played for him, because I saw the stats, and Purdy threw 4, but they had thrown 5 the whole game.
Jeez.
Right.
And he only threw like 5 or 6 the entire year before that.
Yeah.
And that's what they can do to people. And, Tua normally doesn't throw 4 or 5 in a single game.
No. The worst game he had was that Green Bay game. What?
But he might against that defense, and you can just forget about it if that happens. I mean, just look at what the Niners were. Not only not winning, you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they got all that out of their system.
Well, I haven't watched the game, so I don't know exactly what, are these bad passes? Is it great interceptions by the 49ers? I'll have to watch the highlights and kind of get a better gauge that way. But the Niners have been kind of up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have had some spots in the season where I think they lost 3 in a row at one point. The Ravens, they've just been steamrolling. And even the one game where they lost, they blew a big lead, which is kind of what they did to us last year. So as much as I'd love to, believe me, everybody knows I want the number 1 seed. I want to beat the Ravens, et cetera, et cetera. The best thing that happened yesterday, because it didn't really matter all that much if the Ravens would have lost. If they beat us, then they pretty much still going to get the top seed. But Kansas City losing makes a big difference now, because that 2 seed is a little bit more available now with the division winners, right? Because the Browns can't win their division.
They either get the 1 seed or they're a wild card, which is crazy that they can get the 1 seed now. Because I was going to say that team who the Ravens blew the lead against was the Browns, and 4 or 5 weeks ago that was an embarrassing loss.
Yeah,
and the Browns have just done nothing but win since. And there's actually a scenario where they could get the 1 seed.
Yeah, no, it's totally there. And so, as you move on further, I mean, there's a million different scenarios, but there's definitely scenarios where the Dolphins could be put in a position in week 18 of, if we beat the Bills, that means we just get them the next week. But if we lose to the Bills, we could play like the Colts or some shit like that, where it's kind of like, what do we do here? What do we do? Because it's like, I mean, I want to win the division and all of that, but if you're not the number 1 seed, would you rather play week 1 Buffalo and Miami or travel to Indianapolis? You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, the fan to me, you want to be at home and all of that, and that's all true. But there's still 20% of all of our brains going, yeah, but it's the Colts or the Bills, bro. I mean, I don't care where the location is. Just you're a Dolphin fan. Who would you rather play if you're just trying to get over the win a playoff game hump? It ain't the Bills, I can tell you that.
The problem with that's going to be the week after. I guess the week after is an issue either way, but you're guaranteed that home game in round 2 if you're the 2 seed. And if the Ravens are to get upset, you're hosting the AFC Championship as you would have been if you were the 1 seed the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd rather do that on top of, I think anytime like you have a scenario here where you can choose your opponent.
Right.
And you end up choosing the weaker opponent.
Right.
Gosh golly, it seems like that person loses every time.
I know.
Like we just had this in the UFC. This actually just happened like a month or so ago. Israel Adesanya was the middleweight champion of the world. He was supposed to fight Dricus du Plessis. He kind of didn't want to fight him though, so he gave him an offer that he knew was going to get declined. Way too short of a turnaround on camp. And then when the fight obviously didn't get agreed upon, he was like, oh, okay, since he doesn't want to fight me, I'm going to fight Sean Strickland, the number 5-6 contender in the division.
Right.
And he got his ass kicked and lost his title. So I don't want to choose the Colts and be like, all right, bro, I'll bring the Colts in here. And then we get it run out by him. So I want the home games. I'm just going to root for the Ravens to get upset in the second round. And then, boom, the 2 seed became the 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy because they would be playing, well, if they're the 1 seed, they get the bye, and then they can't play us. So then they would be playing possibly Kansas City. That's a possibility, right? Okay. And who's going to win that? Whoever wins the other crap division, the one that the Jaguars are vomiting up right now.
The Jags, Colts, and Texans could all get it.
Yeah, they're all 8-7, right?
And if you're playing them, I guess you want the Jags to win because Trevor's out, right? So,
I mean, yeah, 6-6. I mean, I guess, but then there's if they just beat Baltimore, you know what I mean? If they beat Baltimore, they're no slouches either. But no, but the bottom line is that the Chiefs losing helps. I kind of thought the 49ers were going to win that game, but geez, I didn't think I was waking up to that. 33-19.
That's what I mean. Like, they kicked their ass.
They kicked their ass, man. And that's the Niners,
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe the Browns do it. Maybe the Browns are the ones playing them. No. Because the Browns would be the top wild card team, right?
Yeah.
So that mean we would be playing them?
There's so many different scenarios right now, and because it's all going to go to hell next week when the Bills lose to the Patriots.
Can you imagine the worst season Bill Belichick's had in New England, and he still sweeps Buffalo?
He wants it. He wants that game. Okay, and if there's any coach capable. If there's any coach capable of screwing your day up, it's Bill Belichick, okay? Remember the game? It was a couple years ago where it was raining and he like threw 4 passes and won the game?
Yes. That was with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
People were trying – it was when people were still trying to say that Mac Jones was better than Tua, and they tried to use that game as a reason. He won the game.
He won the game.
It felt like back when Tebow was winning games, but he was literally completing like 42% of his passes.
Right.
I don't think he's why they're winning.
Yeah, no, it's kind of despite. So.
Yeah, no, he won a game against Buffalo with Mac Jones throwing 3 passes. He's done it.
Yeah. So, we'll have to. It's gonna be. It's crazy because, I mean, like this week, all the 8-6 teams all lost, right? In the AFC, like the 4 of them lost. So Buffalo's chances skyrocketed. Look, I want to win the game against the Ravens, right? Of course, we want to win. But if I was betting with your money, I would obviously be picking Baltimore. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. I mean, well, what's the
why
spread?
Why are you losing my money, man?
Why am I losing your money? I mean, if I had to place money on it, this is a tough ask. It's a big ask. In Baltimore, New Year's Eve, the way the Ravens have been playing, it's always usually about matchups. You know what I mean? Your one-on-one matchups. The thing that I honestly kind of got my one eye cockeyed about it is I have a feeling McDaniel might get his lunch money stolen. You know what I mean? He's still learning how to be an NFL head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you heard about this guy in Baltimore. He's pretty good.
Oh yeah, John Harbaugh, not Jim. The one who beat Jim Harbaugh in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That is wild that they got to do that. Like, that is really cool. Like, 2 brothers coach each other in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They call it the Har Bowl. That was great.
The Har Bowl or something like that, right? So if we lose to the Ravens, then Week 18 is just going to be just obscene. It's absolutely obscene. Because the different, the different scenarios and possibilities are all off the charts. But at least this is the first time. This is the first time in Kyle's lifetime, I think. No, because the Wildcat year, but certainly it's the first time since then that the Dolphins. Usually this time of year, there's 1 or 2 things: we're out, okay, or it's like hockey. It's like, well, we're 6 points out with 4 games in hand. You know what I mean? It's like It's like. If we win this game and Seattle beats Pittsburgh and then Indianapolis loses Houston and Kansas City ties with Philadelphia and it rains sunshine and unicorns, not rainbows, but sunshine and unicorns, then if the Dolphins score 18 against the Patriots, they win. But if they're in the playoffs, but 17, the point differential gets all screwy and we're out. That's generally where we are at this point in time.
And now it's only that for the 1 seed.
Right.
We're in the playoffs. It's just this or that or whatever. Potato sack race at the end for the 1 seed.
Yes.
That's a lot nicer.
And the thing that can make us all feel better is that they lost to Tennessee. For the 1 seed, it's not hurting us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had to beat Baltimore anyway. And because the Ravens have kept winning, we were going to have to win out anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if the Niners had won last night, then the Tennessee game could have become problematic.
Yes, absolutely. Then it would have been, then the cursing would have begun up again.
Yeah.
But for now, now I don't know. Have you heard anything about? I heard a couple of people mention it, but that they might flex the game to Sunday night.
I don't see why not. I mean, this is the time of year where they do flex games, and why wouldn't you want Dolphins Ravens potentially playing? Well, not potentially, they are playing for the 1 seed. Yeah, why wouldn't you want that on Sunday Night Football? I can't imagine the game that's scheduled is better.
Let me see. They got Lions and Cowboys on Saturday.
And with that being New Year's Eve, they're going to want the best thing they can have.
I'm seeing if they have a game scheduled for Sunday night. Yeah, they already have a Sunday night game, Packers and Vikings. So
get out of here with that.
So maybe they won't.
Get out of here with that. I mean, I get why you scheduled it in the beginning of the year, but
right. Yeah, there's some good games this week, man. With playoff stuff on the line, Bengals, Chiefs, Steelers, Seahawks, Raiders, Colts. That's going to be a good game. I don't think the Raiders are completely out yet.
The Raiders are playing for Antonio Pierce getting a permanent job. So that's why they're interesting to watch. And I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, you would think so. The Saints and Buccaneers are playing for the division. Dolphins, Ravens. The Titans and Texans got to win. Lions, Cowboys. Lions, congratulations to the Lions.
Yeah.
Winning the division.
I think they said it was the first time in like 70 years. We're talking before Super Bowl that the Lions and the Browns have both won like 10 games in a season.
Wow.
Imagine that Super Bowl matchup.
And it could happen too. Wait, boy, wouldn't the NFL just like vomit all over the ratings on that, right?
I mean, you got an elite quarterback in there. You got Joe Flacco. So it is so nice to see the Browns finally have elite quarterback.
Now, wouldn't that be it, though? Last thing. Wouldn't that be? Because nobody has even thought about this. What if that's Joe Flacco eliminating the Ravens?
The Ravens? That would be...
I mean...
it'd be so great.
You know what that's like? That's like if Jonathan Marshall would have come back and won the Conn Smythe against the Panthers. If that would have happened, that would have been pretty much the same.
All right, guys. We're playing the Ravens this weekend. Y'all know the deal. We're playing for the 1 seed. See y'all next week. I'm tired of this guy. I don't like your attitude, Eric.
Oh, shit. He called me by my first name. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. They start calling me Eric. Then I know I'm in trouble. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. I still have to go do my day after Christmas eBay pack and ship. I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid to look and see how much I got to ship out. But but that's good. That's good.
I hope you get a Jonathan Marshall jersey shipped to you.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, last thing, I said this in the other video, but I'll mention it here. So I joined DraftKings yesterday, right?
Yeah, you did.
And I don't know anything about any of this. I mean, I know like what it means, like the points and the over, but I've never done it before. And I placed a bunch of like $1 bets in the hockey games tomorrow, and I did a parlay. Just, I spent like $10. And then I saw the score of the Giants and the Eagles game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I clicked on in live, live betting, in game betting. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching it. And all of a sudden, like, because the Giants got the Eagles were driving, the spread went up to like 19 and a half. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, shit, I'll take that. So I took that. And then they scored and they blew the spread up to 23 and a half. And when I went to take it, since I was new, they gave me a bonus bet. So I only had to do like $2, but they made it like a $25 bet. And of course, I won both bets. So I'm 2-0, and I'm going to quit YouTube now. That's it. I'm done professional gambling.
or quit gambling, and you're the only one with an undefeated record.
Right? No, the idea is if I can play it smart enough to make enough to buy Fluffy an extra bottle of CBD every month. That's literally what it is. I need it.
One of my friends just started sports gambling now, and he texted me. He was like, "What advice do you have for me for betting?" And I said, "Think really, really hard about who you think is going to win that game, and then put your money on the other team."
Put your money on the other team.
Think really hard. Put all your knowledge and analytics into it.
Yeah.
And then fucking pick the other one.
But that in game, that betting in the middle of the game, that's different.
Yeah, live scoring.
Yeah, that's cool. Different. That was crazy. I mean, actually, I took it at 23 and a half. But when I was done, they for like 10 seconds, it was actually at 24 and a half. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, geez, man. I mean, it was only 17-3 at that point. I'm like, so I took it. And so that it'll be interesting to follow, see what happens.
See how your record goes.
Yeah, see how that. Well, I'm sure I'll blow it tomorrow night in the hockey. Not the money, but I picked 5 games and then I made them into a parlay too. But I'm a big spender. I spent the whole $10 on all 6 bets combined. So
anything over 50% is a winner.
Hey, that's it. Hey, I'm practicing. I'm learning it. But I couldn't believe the stuff. I like the not just the scores and all that. And I know this is boring for people that know it, but I'm like, it's like you could bet on like the next drive, like if the dude's going to get a first down, if his pants are going to fall off. I mean, it's just like you could go blind like crazy. Just like I could see how somebody could get addicted and just be like, yeah, they're going to get a first down. Shit, they didn't get it. Okay, they're going to get a completion here. Shit, they didn't get it. It's just crazy.
You can't even bet on. I'll tell this story for a last thing. I 1 year lost a bet. I bet on the length of the national anthem. I took the over because, of course, they always go over when they sing the damn song. That was the year that the Packers played the Steelers in the Super Bowl. I believe it was 40. I don't remember the number exactly, but it was Packers-Steelers. That was the year that Christina Aguilera sang the national anthem, and she forgot 2 parts of it. She got 2 whole lines. She went from line 1 to line 4, and I missed it by like 6 seconds. Yeah.
Now you want to talk about something that's rigged. That sounds rigged, bro.
Yeah, get the girl that can't speak English sing the national anthem. Good job.
Because nobody will care because she's hot, so nobody cared.
I cared. The only time you've ever heard during "And the Home of the" someone yelling, "You fucking C-word." Like, you never heard that during the national anthem. Oh, that's what you heard at that party.
Oh, my. How much did you bet on that? How much did you lose?
I bet like $20, but the point was that I would have won if she knew the words.
How can you? But, see, now that's something that
under, I wouldn't have reacted that way. She went under because she forgot the words.
But it's like, that's an odd thing that they would allow you to bet on because that's manipulatable.
Oh yeah, because you could potentially tell the singer like, "Hey, go really long or go short."
Yeah. I mean, you can tell the player to do whatever.
You can bet on such weird stuff. You can bet on the coin toss of games, heads or tails. You can bet on such weird stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up down that rabbit hole at some point. Over the summer, I'm sure that's when my mind will get blown when I don't have hockey or football. And I'm like looking at all the things at baseball that you can bet on. And I'll be like, strike one for $1. Shit. No. All one for $1. Shit. No. And I'll just be sitting there, lose all my money betting balls and strikes. All right, Dolphin fans, we appreciate it. And for those of you who watch the hockey stuff, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream. Appreciate all the support.